Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Brian, and today I'm going to be talking about Singles Inferno Season 2. This has been going on, it came out on Netflix on December 13th, and they've been dropping 2 episodes every week since. Apologies about being a little late to the party here. We just had a bunch of stuff going on, plus the holidays, and honestly, this is a show that Bill and I had talked about last year that we were going to do a review on, and we actually never got to it. And I wanted to actually watch the first season before I commented on the second season, just because I had seen Love Is Blind Japan, and that was another show that Bill and I were thinking about reviewing, and another one we never did, but I actually watched it. And this show reminds me a lot of it because these foreign reality TV shows, not including like European shows or Spanish, they're not the same. Like, I know this is technically a reality TV show, but it doesn't even compare to like not saying that, well, it's trashy. The American shows are trashy reality TV. When I think of reality TV, I kind of think of trashy TV. This to me is very wholesome, very similar, like I said, to Love Is Blind Japan. Like, I feel like these people are actually looking for a match, but they're only on the island for 8 days, so I don't really know how successful this is. I haven't looked up anything. Remember, we're a spoiler-free show, so I'm not looking like what couples are still together. I know we still have 2 episodes left that come out on January 10th, but I wanted to have this out before then, and then I'm going to do a review on the last 2 episodes just to see, because again, I don't really know. I don't really know like what is going on with like, because there's no like physical touching. They like last season somebody kissed on the cheek, and that was the furthest thing that happened. There's a lot of conversation about like they care about age, they care about their profession, but again, I just don't know if this show is like I can't see the success rate being that high on the season. That just seemed like a lot of people are going to come out as friend, like are going to like, oh, I'm going to be with this person, but at the end they're going to end up, when we find out, they're going to be like as friends, because this is quicker than a lot of the other reality TV shows we watch, where like we say the Bachelor in Paradise is pretty escalated. Bachelor, if I mean 8 days is not a long time, and they are constantly moving from this deserted island that they're on, and then they move to this like paradise hotel where they can go with a match, and they can open up. There's some like restrictions about what they're allowed to talk to on the island, and there's when they get to this paradise hotel, they can say their age, say their profession, and they don't sleep in the same bed. And I think this is more of a cultural thing where like they have a panel of 4 people reviewing the show. So I'm reviewing a show that there's a review on already, because they're like kind of commentating on it. And a lot of the things like they get very surprised by, and then I'm watching it and I'm like, that is like PG stuff over here. So I just think it's different culture, but it's actually not a bad show, because I do think the intentions of the contestants seem pure. Like, I don't think people are coming on here for clout, unless they're totally fooling me. Like, you can tell when people are on like the reality TV shows in America that they are, who's there for the right reasons, who's not. And I kind of feel like everybody here is actually looking for love. Like, they all seem pretty genuine. There's like no bad people. Nobody has an ad like, I don't think any of these people come off as being like bad people or kind of jerks. Um, there's some like funny things that happen. They go on the island. They have no. They have to prepare all their food, and I got to give them props. They do all the food in both seasons. They tend to always have a chef on the show, and the food looks great. They're cooking it in like a cauldron and like a big like bowl over fire, and they do a pretty good job with that. They have living quarters where it's separated between men and women. It's kind of like a glamp tent, I think is the best way to describe it. Like, there's cover, it looks like there's lights plugged into something. Um, if you're like watching some of the things in the background, they have like an area for the women to put makeup on. I'm sure like the bathrooms are back there too. Then the first season they showed a little bit more of like those things. This one they kind of just like show the bit, like just kind of quickly show the basics, because it looks like it's the same place, very similar. Curious to know what the filming was like. Did they just like kind of like similar to Survivor? They have people come in, and then as soon as they're done, they just bring the next batch of people in. So a couple key differences from last season to this season. So they started with 5 women and 4 men, and it was vice versa on the first season. So when I was watching, I kind of expected that they would probably do something similar. A couple of repeat challenges that they have. They have these challenges where like it'd be a guys challenge, girls challenge, and they compete to pick a person they're going to go to paradise with, or they're going to go on a date, like a lunch date with. And it's a lot of like physical challenges. It's not really challenges where they no partnering up, not really finding anything like a challenge where they're finding out things about themselves or they're like the person that they're into. There's like a wrestling match in water. There's like they do this thing called, they call it like chicken fight, but it's not chicken fight that you would see in America. They like, not where you go on the shoulders in a pool. They like stand up and like kind of hold one of their legs up like this, and they're like they had to kick each other out of the ring. It was really interesting. I'm gonna try to pop a picture in here or a video if I can find it of something like that. They also do this postcard system early where they like anonymously say like it's an anonymous flirting method, and it really has no impact on the game. It's just kind of something they do early to like see like what the gauge of people are, and they eventually, I don't know if they tell each other. I don't catch it because I'm watching this also with subtitles and I'm watching it with a dub. So I'm not gonna try to pronounce a lot of people's names because I don't want to butcher it. One thing I do really like that they do is when they're going to paradise, and they switch off between men and women and like choosing. So like the women say the men are picking, the women submit who they want to have to go on paradise with, and it's locked. And then the guys go out and they're like, I want to go with this person. And they can only go if that woman said their name as well. And they could go out and wait by the walkway out. And if they did say, they'll come out and go. And if not, they have to go back and stay like on the island for a night. And there's been times this season and last season where there's people that 3 people or 2 people want the same woman or man, and they do some like crazy editing and like filming where you're like unsure, and the panel that reviews it are like, oh, they're going crazy about like, who is it? Oh, look at the shirt, and a lot of that stuff. Um, all right. I will run through the cast actually just real quick, just because there's not really that much to talk about with connections, because I don't have I personally don't have a sense that anyone has a real meaningful connection that is worth getting excited about like other shows, because nobody's intimate. Like it's just conversation. So as a viewer, I'm sure over there or in Asia, like I'm not sure if that's like normal. So like, but to me, would I recommend the show? I would watch it. I would watch it if you have nothing to watch. It's definitely worth a watch. It's pretty popular. They're review like it's popular internationally. It's not a bad show. I don't want to put that out there that I think it's bad. It's just very different than what I'm used to watching and what we're used to covering on this channel, because normally it's just kind of like f this, f that. I want to f this. I want to fuck this person, like all this stuff. But let me run through all the people. I kind of heard some little like funny quotes about people or like things they said. It also could be bad dubbing, because Netflix does have it. When we did Love Never Lies, the dubbing on that was absolutely terrible. So, all right, I'm going to attempt these names, and I want to again apologize in advance if I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm going to read it as best I can. And also, my handwriting is pretty terrible. But okay, for the band starting, I'm going to do the starting people, and then at the end I'll add in the additions. Jang Woo. He had a funny one where he had never dated anyone he actually liked, and he also was told by a monk that he will find love on the show. So like right off the bat, it's just that's the kind of stuff. And I don't know if it's just bad dummy, but I thought that was pretty funny. Uh, Young Jay, he's a CrossFitter and he went to business school. Han Bin likes to climb things. He's looking for positive energy. Dong Wu, this one, this is another one that made me laugh. He said he loved watching his body grow, and he was into basketball. I think there was 2 other ones. Jin Young, likes motorcycles. He was a tough guy. I think we eventually find out he does like military social media or like on YouTube or something like that. There's some pretty interesting professions in here. Say Kim Sejan, he's refers to himself as sneakily cute and wants a nice bubbly girl. So again, nothing. The guys again, nothing crazy. I think one of them's a doctor, one of them's a tailor, one of them has like some connection from somebody from last season who was also a tailor. Some interesting stuff. Okay, the women. Uh, Suki, is always referred to having stars in her eyes. Wants a nice guy. Sejong, once someone as hot as her. So I mean, some of these people like I was kind of getting a weird vibe from her at the beginning, but she kind of chilled out. I think just some of those interviews, like it's got to be awkward, just kind of talking about yourself. Like what when somebody asks you, like, why do people like you? It's just I don't know. Sue E, she's calm and honest. Wants a guy with strong features. I think that's what that says. Uh, Lee Nadine, so she actually is on the show. She actually flips back and forth between speaking Korean and English, and she actually is a student at Harvard. She's confident in her she's confident in her narrow waist, and like I also wrote down she's a language switch hitter. So like constantly throughout the show, she switches between English and Korean. I said Sue Ian. I think it's see Choi Soo Ian. She likes to paddleboard and she referred to her voice changing when she talks to guys that she likes. So again, just different than over here. Okay, and the final girl is Min Soo. She referred to as like an iron hand in a velvet glove. So I thought that was pretty interesting comparison. I don't really. Again, it's just I don't know if it's like the translations, but those are the people. Again, I don't mean to keep repeating myself, but it's just like I don't really know what to talk about more than just kind of the premise of the show. It, it's interesting, but at the same time, if you're looking for some like trashy reality TV, like something you're not, this is not for you. It's kind of just like if you're looking, you want people to find like a genuine connection, kind of similar to when you're watching Love Boat. It's along those lines where like I feel like the people here are actually looking for something. And one of the reasons I watched season one first is I was wondering if the first season was going to be a little more pure, and then when it got successful, season two was going to have more like influencers or people who are seeking fame and just kind of more um like big personalities. And I still find it like it's not the case there. It's I just think that a lot of the people on the show are actually looking for something, and I just think the timeline of 8 days is just not long enough for things to actually work out. But we'll see what happens episode 9 and 10. I'm going to come back, probably do a little shorter review. Hopefully some drama actually happens because again, I just find the drama in the show lacking, and if that's a big part of reality TV. But if you're looking for something to watch, I would give it a shot. We're big supporters of Netflix reality TV shows, so I'm always going to give stuff a chance. I enjoyed it's like I said, it's very similar to Love is Blind Japan, very different than the American Love is Blind, but again, just I enjoy watching. And sometimes it's nice to watch a show where people are actually looking for a true connection. So thanks for watching. We have a ton of stuff coming out in January, and we have like Jersey Shore coming out. We have this new show, Traders. We have someone who's going to be covering the RuPaul Drag Race. We have Challenge on Wednesdays. We have new Bachelor coming out, I think in 2 weeks. So we're going to have a pretty busy schedule on this page. So take a look out for anything. And if you have any ideas of shows that you want us to cover, pop it in the comments. We'll definitely always check it out. Myself included, I always will be willing to give any show a shot, just like this one. So we'll see you guys next week. I think it comes out January 10th, and I should hopefully have a review out that night or the next day. So see you guys later.